Hello everyone. Welcome to Dr. Rajkumar Academy. Welcome to the session on 18/1/2023 guys. So some of the interesting news guys. One, Pak PM moods serious sincere talks with Modi. UNSC sanctions committee blacklists Lashkar's Makki after Beijing lifts its hold. 6. Let me explain these two issues in detail. First, Pakistan is undergoing lot of poverty. So what has happened? Pakistan's forex reserves, forex reserves has reduced. When we say in 1991, what was our situation? The same situation Pakistan has today. As forex reserves reduce, right? Oil is not there. Electricity is not there. Food is not there. When all these are not there, poverty further increases. So Pakistan is requesting world community, right, to give funds. And remember, Pakistan has nuclear weapons and world needs weapons. So several countries like Saudi Arabia, UAE, which are also Muslim countries, are trying to support Pakistan. But still, Pakistan is not able to come out of it because of its policies, which is mostly anti India and military centric. So, what has happened in Pakistan? Any money, if Pakistan gets any money, this money is mostly utilized by the military. Military doesn't compromise at all. Whereas in other parts of the world, military will be ready to compromise. For example, recently, Sri Lanka said that it will reduce defense expenditure by 50%. Why? Because if you don't reduce defense expenditure, you will not be able to feed your population. But in Pakistan, you cannot reduce military expenditure at all. Then you get the threat of India there. They talk about India, which will be a very big issue. So, what happens? Any money will be diverted towards military. This is one issue. Second, is in Pakistan there is an organization called as Lashkar-e-Taiba, LET, and this is responsible for 2611. Now, what happened? India told that LET is a terrorist organization. All the individuals from this they came out and they established something called as Jamaat ud Dawa, right? They made it Jamaat ud Dawa, JUD. Then India told the world community that Jamaat ud Dawa is also a terrorist organization. Then India realized, if I tell Jamaat ud Dawa is a terrorist organization, they will come out and they will establish some other organization. Then it would be very difficult for us to control. So, we should go for naming individuals as terrorists. So, India gave a list of 5 people and told that these 5 people must be called terrorists. But for naming anyone to be terrorists, UNSC should agree. UNSC will have 5 permanent countries and 10 non-permanent countries. In this permanent countries, even China is there, and China has a veto power. That is, if China says a no, it's a no. So, because of that, what has happened? The individuals were not called as terrorists. But recently, China said fine, and Lashkar's Makki, like he is being branded as a terrorist. And slowly, we may expect new people will also be branded as terrorists. Backing Sri Lanka, India sends assurances to IMF. See, guys. Similar to Pakistan, another country which has or which is facing lot of problems is Sri Lanka economically. Now, when Sri Lanka was facing crisis economically, Sri Lanka has to get money from IMF, and IMF is the one which lends money to the countries whenever there is balance of payment crisis. But IMF will need some assurances that Sri Lanka will pay back and Sri Lanka will follow certain rules and regulations. Now, these assurances are basically provided by Japan, China, and India. And these are the top 3 countries which will lend money to Sri Lanka. And when they give assurance to IMF, IMF will lend Sri Lanka. So that's what we are trying to say, that India is the first country among the 3 to send the assurances. After India, Sri Lanka is talking to China, Sri Lanka is talking to Japan, and it is ensuring that even others are giving it the required assurances. So, guys, these are some of the important issues in the first page. Now, when we look at the editorials, China must withdraw the hold on listing of 4 other Pakistani terrorists. So, guys, 5 terrorists were named by India, out of which 1 they have given. Another 4, if they withdrew, then India can make sure that they are called as terrorist groups. But it will take time. The illogical rejection of the idea of South Asia. See, Suhasini Haider is a international relations expert, and she talks very well about international relations. And in this article, she is trying to say that recently in Bhutan, pollution has increased. Recently in Maldives, fog increased. And this fog particles came from Himalayas to Maldives. So just imagine one part of South Asia, if it is affected, the other part is also affected. Bhutan is a country which doesn't emit much emissions, but they have more particulate matter 2.5. This is not from Bhutan, but from India, it would have gone to Bhutan. Correct? So, when there is some sort of geographical continuity, it is very, very important for us to come together and resolve the problems. So, Suhasini either says, when you talk about terrorism, India and Pakistan is talking about terrorism in SCO. Recently, under RATS, India and Pakistan spoke. If you talk about climate change, India and other countries as global south are talking. So when we are talking at different organizations, why shouldn't we talk at SARC? So please don't reject the idea of SARC or South Asia. Try to find ways to talk. India is not talking to Pakistan only in SARC, but India is exchanging in SCO and many other places. And now the next SCO summit will be held in India. At that time, Pakistan will come, Russia will come, China will come. So India rejecting South Asia is not proper, is what the article is trying to tell. It's a good article, guys. Read it once. New food grain policy, inflation not required, guys. A case for reassigning GST to states. So, guys, no one is asking. This article is simply talking about it. Don't worry. India's new proposal for migrant voting, Subhash Chandra Bose, right? Finnish collection of states' views on identifying minorities. See, guys, within Jammu Kashmir, if you see, Buddhists, Hindus will be minority, Sikhs will be minority. If you go to Lakshadweep, Hindus will be minority. In Arunachal Pradesh, Buddhists, Hindus will be minority. So, in different states, different minorities will be present. So, some states are telling, let center decide who is a minority and who is a majority. And some states are telling, no, give it to us, we will look into it. And some states are telling, whatever is happening, let it go the same way. So, Supreme Court is telling, who should determine whether someone is a minority or not? That should be normally determined either by the center or by the states. So take opinion of the states and tell us whether states want to do it state-wise or it should be done by the central government. So that is what the argument here they're talking about. See guys, closer to Punjab, closer to Punjab, if you take Indian Punjab, you'll have Pakistan, you'll have Afghanistan, you will have Iran. And from Afghanistan to Pakistan, Iran, if you see, you'll have something called as Golden Crescent. And in this Golden Crescent, they normally go for opium production. Opium production is normally observed where? In the Golden Crescent. The Golden Crescent includes Afghanistan, Pakistan, India, sorry, Iran. And as Punjab is closer to that, drugs from this region enters into Punjab and it is leading to lot of problems. That's what this article is trying to talk about. Guys. In internal security, you will be reading about this in detail, guys. See, guys, one of the important measure to reduce Naxalism is wherever the Naxal domination is there, in that particular part, we should try to ensure that, like, there is some sort of development. So, when development cannot take place, what we must do is recruit the people for CRPF. See, yes, normally we try to say that there are four important aspects which would determine development or Naxalism. So, guys, remember left wing extremism means Naxalism. And for Naxalism to survive, people are important, money is important, arms is important, training is important. Now, people, if Indian government provide jobs in CRPF, so the people who were about to go to Naxalism will join CRPF. So it will reduce people. India is also trying to ensure the training arms is reduced. Money we are trying as much as possible. Demonetization is considered to be one such measure, guys. The four things, if you have control over, it's very easy to control them. All these are elections, guys. BJP MP, open door. Yeah, this is important. India is going for the rifles AK-203 along with Russia in UP's Amethi region. I want you to write that AK-203. Next, guys, India is planning for 60,000 megawatt of hydro power project in Arunachal Pradesh. I repeat, 60,000 megawatts of hydroelectric power project. And if this project comes up, it will improve the economy of Arunachal Pradesh. Bhutan's economy has improved because of this. So Indian government has realized today that we need to construct it, but it should be little away from the border so that Chinese threat can be reduced. And guys, from Nepal temple, we are getting some rocks for Ram idol in Ayodhya. So it's a very good measure, guys. So you can just write this down. 6,000 megawatt hydroelectric power project in Upper Siang district of Arunachal Pradesh. Upper Siang. So you should know that in Arunachal Pradesh, Brahmaputra river is also known as Siang. There's two important issues internationally. In China, if you see here, birth rate is 9.56, death rate is 10.41. That means birth rate is less than death rate. That means death rates is increasing. That means population is reducing. So if population reduces in China, India population is increasing. So India will become the first largest populated country in the world, right? And second, we had read recently that women in Afghanistan were not allowed to work, but Taliban has now told that in hospitals and other things, women can work. After that, some NGOs have started working in Afghanistan, especially to ensure that the children and others are safeguarded. Guys, the world economy is somewhere dependent on China, and without our knowledge, Chinese economy is falling drastically. So we are all concerned about falling Chinese economy, because if Chinese economy falls, the world demand economic growth, everything will fall. See, already Russia's Ukraine war has affected the world. Now Chinese growth, if it affects, then the entire world community will be affected. So let's wait and watch what is happening, guys. So these are some of the issues that are important, guys. Thank you.